Hi everyone, welcome to this first edition of the Imagician's vlog with your host, Alpine. Today, I'd like to contemplate these questions. Could there be more to reality than what we can see? And can we learn to see more? Those of you who remember the year 1993 might remember a bit of a craze that went on around then. There were these books called Magic Eye books, full of what looked like weird, multicolored psychedelic patterns. Like this, see? See this? And each of these weird patterns was said to contain a 3D image if you stared at it in a certain way or for long enough. Remember those? Well, I was a 19-year-old kid in 1993, a university student, and I spent way too much time browsing in bookshops, staring at these images and trying to see the 3D image without buying the book because I couldn't afford it. I could never see the images. I'd stare and stare, I'd squint, I would try to unfocus my eyes, project some kind of image onto the page using the sheer force of my imagination, everything. All I could ever see was this crazy 2D pattern, which didn't seem to make any sense. I started to think the whole thing was a hoax, and the only reason the books were selling was because this was some kind of modern day case of the emperor's new clothes. Enough people were lying about it and claiming to see an image to keep the scam going. If I couldn't see it, said my ego, with my monster of an imagination, can't really be real, can it? Only I soon found out that it was real, you see. A university friend of mine bought or was given one of these books, and on the back pages, there was a series of drawings which revealed what the image was, like a kind of answers at the back. There it is, see, like that. So we did some experimenting and we showed a few people the 2D psychedelic patterns and asked them if they could see a 3D image behind these patterns, and a sizable minority said that they could. And when they told us what they could see, their answers conformed with the answers at the back, which we of course hadn't shown them. So you have the same answers that these people gave, corroborating with the book from lots of different people. Now, ain't that something, I thought. Of course, I had to suck it up and admit that the 3D images were real, but that Muggins here didn't have whatever it takes to see them. It really bugged the hell out of me. Then I visited my parents that summer and they had bought one. I now had the leisure to waste many hours on glorious hot summer days just staring at the images in their Magic Eye book, trying to see what I was supposed to see. I just couldn't seem to do it. Then, one day, one of my contact lenses fell out, and a strange contrast of blurry and sharp vision gave me an idea. I took out the other contact lens and started looking at the patterns with my natural, weak, short-sighted eyesight. Within about 10 minutes, hey presto, I saw my first 3D Magic Eye image, and I saw it because I couldn't focus. My eyes were not strong enough to focus on the patterns, and for whatever reason, the blurry best that they could do revealed the images to me one by one easily. Of course, I later met other people who were like I had been and just couldn't see the 3D images, and the weird thing is, I couldn't make them see it, no matter how hard I tried. Some people with glasses or contacts on could see these images anyway. Some people with perfect vision could too. Some could not. What worked for me didn't necessarily work for others. People either saw the 3D images behind the 2D picture or they didn't. And some of them, like me, only became able to see them after a great deal of effort and maybe a little bit of luck. I realized there was no way I could make other people see these images, as just like there had been no way for other people to make me see them. Not with advice, not with cajoling, not with pleading, wheedling, threats, lucky charms, science degrees, mathematics, mumbo jumbo, nothing. People either saw these images or they didn't. And in the 30 or so years since then, I have come to learn that it's much the same with deeper reality. There are images, messages, and impressions interwoven within and interspersed between and around and through and over our 3D reality that one just cannot see until one day something changes. And when it does, you'll never be able to unsee those impressions again. No matter how many milliard gargantuan brains with advanced degrees tell you flat out there's nothing to see, you just can't put that rabbit back in the box.